And how is everyone this evening?
Everyone, this one of the everyone is fine.
Okay, most important. And what stuck out most for you this week?
Mm. How fast the week went? Where somebody pluck out 3 days from the week. Same thing. Reflecting, just reflecting. And when you're faced with situations, trying to spend more time looking inward to see why what is facing you is bothering you.
Mm-hmm,
And then the battle would begin. How to let it go. Because there's a part that says if it's something to do with a person, that person will be winning, and you will be losing. And so you don't want to be the one losing. But then when you keep looking and you keep looking and you go over it again, you have to ask yourself questions like, what are you losing?
mm-hmm,
And if you give that up, what are you gaining? What, how much closer to the the new wisdom are you moving when you decide to let go what you consider to be you're losing something because you know it's the ego that doesn't want to give up what it is accustomed, and not a comfortable space. It's not a comfortable space.
mm-hmm.
But for me, this week right up to today, it was about what because if you drop down dead right now, all of this you still wouldn't be able to enjoy it. So making it a big deal or making something a big deal, bigger than it should be, then you sort of start to look kind of foolish in the face of all that you've been learning. So that is where I am right now.
Okay.
Not wanting to look foolish.
Well, for me this week, what stuck out most is, again, when you are not consistent, how fast vines grow back. Because on Saturday, you just ended up walking outside, and family came over, and it turned into a cleaning session.
Mm.
And the same mango tree that I stood under months ago, and you thought you got rid of
Yeah.
lots of the weeds, and you're recognizing just generally, even in life, where some things might still be holding on to your feet,
Mm-hmm.
might still be holding you back in certain areas, and if you're really not consistent with it, it could really end up anchoring you to your past. So you have to actively work on certain things. And whereas, yes, the reference was vines on a tree, but when you look at life, the reference could be so many other different things that can anchor you, like feelings, thoughts, and everything, of course, based in your past. And if you are not mindful of it, it could certainly keep you stuck for a very, very, very long time. So that is what it was for me. Would anyone else like to share what stood out most for you this week? Could be something that you learned, something you had an epiphany about, something you were clear about now and you have a different understanding.
What stood out to me this week is that grief is a bitch.
and it told me, and I could not do nothing, and I just had to let it go through. And I was fighting hard, but I understand that it's all part of life, and you just have to go through it.
Yeah. Some experiences you really have to go through, and you know, a lot of times we really try to run, we try to hide, we try to jump over, we try to ignore, we try to delete. But all in all, some experiences you really have to go through. But while in the experience, you don't recognize that it is really there to move you forward, because your focus is primarily on what you lost. Just as Catherine was explaining, your focus primarily is what you lost or what you're going to lose in the process. But your focus is never really on what is to come in that moment, not recognizing that the things that are to come are what is best for you moving forward. But in the moment, you don't see it as that. Because even in a, like when you consider the pruning of a tree, and you know the tree have to go through the cutting down pruning before it could blossom even fuller, but in the moment it doesn't feel like that at all. It really, really doesn't feel like that. And that is why sometimes we really have to go through and grow through certain things, because it is necessary. It is like moving from standard one to standard two to standard three. It is all part of the process. And the thing is, whether we like it, we don't like it, it will certainly come and it will continue to do so. But that is why we have to be resilient and really continue to move forward with it. And then you would see the new perspective on a lot of different things. Yes. Would anyone else like to share?
As Nicole's talking there, what what I was remembering is my journey. When you look back at it, my journey to befitment really started with my mother's passing. So, and I did not like that at all. I did not appreciate that at all. But with time and with experiencing one place, if I had not experienced that place, then I would not know about befitment and so forth. Then you come to see, okay, it was, as I said, a necessary part in the process and all for my good. It's said that when you're going through it and you don't know anywhere else forward, you do not want to move. And with her passing, it also helped to grow a different me because I owned a house, but I wasn't managing my house. I just used to go and work, and my mother managed the house. So then I was forced to shuffle things around, move things around, figure things out. I still have not figured out baking bread, but I have come to terms with it. That is why people sell bread. So things must, what is it? Money must rotate. So good, good, good. Let somebody else make bread. I give up. But is such a, you really have to just sit in the process. And I would like to get to the stage where I do not fight up first. The fighting up and the worrying and then to say, oh, it worked out. See, it worked out. I would like to be in a space where You just know it's working out, and everything else is where it's supposed to be, and this is what it is. And so just deal with what is in front of you. This is what it is. And that is my goal, even with the 6 weeks left to the end of the year. 6 weeks, Adara? 6 weeks. Seven. So that is my goal still.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, even as we go into tonight's topic, which is the discipline of being consistent, when you hear a sentence like this, you would tend to sigh. Yeah? The default setting is to sigh because for a lot of us, it would be like, oh gosh, consistency. You know, the whole consistency, what we think of it, what we think of the word. And then the other word too that we do not appreciate at all is discipline. Because for a lot of us, this is something that we tend to struggle with, you know? And tonight's question is, what in what area of your life do you need discipline in being consistent? Everybody is consistent and disciplined. Is that what this means? Is that what the silence means? In what area of your life do you need discipline to be consistent?
You're, you're writing down the question.
Okay. Anastasia, are you there? Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you have an answer to the question or not as
I
yet?
am thinking, I am thinking.
All right. So,
Okay.
Listra, are you there?
Yes, I'm listening. I didn't get your whole question though.
The question is, in what area of your life do you need discipline to be consistent?
Okay, thanks.
All right. So let me see if Pat has an answer. Pat, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
You have an answer?
This, Adana, is a very deep question.
Okay. All right. All right.
So
Okay.
you gotta kind of dig fast.
Okay. All
I have
right.
an answer.
Okay. Yes.
Exercise.
Okay. Good.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we have an answer. We have one response. And the response is exercise. So as it relates to exercise, so everybody, one person answered, but for everyone online, you would know the area or you would know the areas. It could be plural. It doesn't have to be singular. So in the instance where you need discipline as it relates to being consistent with exercise, why do you think that is? What is the blockage? What is the block?
Exercise
Because
could
I don't want to.
Okay.
But
exercise could
I
be
need to be healthy and live long for my kids. I really don't want to. I can lie down on my bed.
Okay. Which is an honest answer. But at the end of the day, even though you don't want to, because you know, of course, on this journey of life, there's a lot of things that we really don't want to do. There are so many things. Some of us, we don't even want to get up and go to work, but we need to get paid. There are so many different things you really, really, really don't even want to do. We want to eat all the things in the world. We don't want to put on any weight. We want to travel the world for free. We want to, some of us live for 500 years. But within all of that, there are, of course, restrictions. And even when you look at whatever it is that you need to do, you would recognize a lot of the time the block really starts with how you think of things and what is your mindset towards it. Because, as is usually said, if your back was against the wall and a doctor tell you only have, and I am just saying, this may not be the case, you only have 5 days to live, and if you don't do this, this will be the result. Or if someone says, you have to exercise straight for a week and get $1 million.
I exercise it twice a week.
And that is where you
You will
recognize,
exist.
yes, you recognize it is really about the mindset. It really, really is the mindset. Because even for me, exercise was a struggle. It was a struggle. Being consistent was a struggle. But then when the opportunity presented itself in terms of where Befitment now has the workout sessions Tuesdays and Thursdays, I really took the opportunity. Now I don't do it. Some days I will miss. I wouldn't miss a complete week, but it's just Tuesdays and Thursdays. One of the days I might miss, but even sometimes I really, 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 really don't want to do it. But then you really have to hold your intention, because at the end of the day, just as Anika said, and it's the same thing with my intention. My intention is just to be more active. I really, really needed to be more active because it reached a point where I was feeling so sluggish, always sleepy, always tired, and your energy really, 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 really low. And I didn't like that feeling at all. I honestly, honestly did not like that feeling. And then sometimes you're so tired and you're so sleepy that you're getting up like midday, 1 o'clock, and you feel as though half your day go on. So now all the things you have to get done, well, you're more tired now because you're working later into the night to get all the things done. And it really, really wasn't working out for me at all. And now, because I think it was last week, a co-worker was asking me, Adana, you don't like feel to sleep during the day and stuff. I said, not so much anymore. And sometimes you don't even recognize the change and recognize the difference. And I think another thing too that keeps us away from being disciplined and consistent is that it does require effort. It really, really, really does require effort. But
Adana, I'm
yes,
sorry.
yes, no, go ahead.
I have two answers.
Uh huh.
I don't only need one. One is procrastination,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is going after things that I don't really need.
Going after things that.
I don't really need.
Okay,
You
okay,
cannot want them by running them down. But
okay,
you don't really need them.
okay. But why? Okay, so we're dealing with the first one in terms of the procrastination. Why do you think that is? Is it overthinking?
Sometimes, yeah, I will just sit down and I know I want to do something, but I thinking about I should do this, I should do it like A or B or C or D, and just sitting down and not moving, going into action.
Okay, yes. And of course, what we also learn is that everything happens now. And
Yeah,
sometimes when you don't move now, what happens is that we tend to miss
no opportunity.
a lot of opportunities.
Opportunity.
So even when, and remember, as you live, I know a lot of people tend to think about right and wrong, but remember, everything is really a lesson learned for you. So even if you might have 5 options on your list, if you know that you wanna do skydiving, and it have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, just start with A. Just start with A. And then if A doesn't work, you can go to B. But the thing is, you really have to start, and in starting, you would recognize that you start to trust yourself more to really make a choice and make the first step. Because a lot of times, too, is the fear associated with making the first step. That is really what it is as well. The fear associated with making the first step. But after you make the first step, just like you're practicing to ride a bike, or you're going to a dance class for the first time, or you're going to a cooking class for the first time, you're trying a new recipe, it's really about overcoming whatever the initial fear is. Because after you overcome that initial fear, then you will start to ask yourself, why I took so long to do this again? That is really what you would ask yourself, why you took so long to do this in the first place. But do you think, even though you have a list of things that you would like to get done, do you think that you could choose one and make a step towards it this week?
Yes.
Whichever one it is, just choose any one. Because just, I know some time ago we were discussing where I saw a TikTok video. Well, this girl, she does TikTok videos, and the basis of the videos are how long would it take? So the thing that you're procrastinating about, and she would actually do the task and then let you know how long it would take. So sometimes you might have a corner of your room to clear out, you might have a room to clear out, you might have something to change on your car, and the essence of it is how long would it take. And even sometimes you're looking at a mountain, and when you start and you finish so quick, you realize, wait, this was just a molehill. So even this lady, I think she was procrastinating about, everybody's procrastinating about cleaning out the kitchen drawer. The kitchen drawer have 10,000 different things in it, right? Yes. And for her, when she cleaned out the drawer, I think it was 30 minutes. And I think she was procrastinating about it for over a year. So just start. And remember, don't wait on things to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. As you walk, everything around you will start to find order, but you have to start to walk. So next week, we would certainly be looking forward to hear what that first step was. And I really hope that you take the first step. And you said the next thing was running down things that you don't really need. Yes?
Yes.
All right. But why do you run them down if you know that you don't really need it?
Because I was fool myself and figure that it's important. Everything important.
And I remember once before when you said that you wanted to go get something, and then you heard, look within your space and you would be able to find it
You find it.
instead of going out and buy. Yes, I remember that very, very clearly.
Yeah. Look at what you have.
Look at what you have. Yes. And again, there is also another option, because sometimes, even in this weekend, in terms of cleaning, I recognize, even even though it was outdoors, you recognize how many things that you have that you probably thought that you needed to go out and buy. So I found a rake that was kind of buried in some dirt. You find all these different things where you're thinking that you would have needed to go out and buy, when essentially everything has already been mapped out and plotted out for you already. Everything already right there. But you really have to make the first step. I know it is scary for a lot. And even now, I looking back at pictures with us exercising and where I was, and even the size that I was and the size that I am now, I say, oof, you really, really just need to start. Don't even think about anything else. Just start. Whatever it is, start. Yes, it might be difficult at first, but hold to whatever your intention is and just start. So, this is the week of starting something new, starting something that you have been putting off, starting something that you have been procrastinating about, and just starting. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just start. Just make the effort to start. Would anyone else like to share what area of their life do they need discipline in being consistent with?
For me, it's the same answer: exercise. And I think I have to do two things. One, I either have to redefine what is exercise for me so that I do not feel as though I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that might be trying to sort of trick my mind into thinking, because when you hear exercise, you tend to think of lifting up something, putting down something, stretching something, doing something, circuits or something, something, something. Because, and often I would, for something like that, I know I need to begin. And once I begin, it will get, I am not one for gyms. I probably signed up for gyms about 3, 4 times. I need to do things where the breeze is blowing on my face as I move, either walking around a savannah or doing something. So I need to redefine, because then I would often tell myself, I am exercising. Look, I'm moving here, I'm moving there. If I have to pick up something that has fallen on the floor, I go down slowly and I bend over and I tell myself there's a stretch. You're stretching there. You're lifting something, then a heavy something. I bend my knees to make sure that I am going in the correct form. But yet you feel as though, okay, the exercise. But when you look at it, you get up in the morning, and before I come off of my bed, I make sure I work with my ankles, because I say ankles have the carrier all the way through. So make sure they're flexible. So I do the stretching, I do then I do the work with the calves where you flex your toes to be able to improve the circulation in your calves and so forth. But yet you hear the word exercise and you say, no, I already didn't exercise because I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do that. So for me, I think I just want to redefine what exercise is.
Yes.
Going outside and bending down and weeding a whole half of a yard, that is enough stretching and lifting and bending and everything else, squatting. And so, but the thing is to be able to do it consistently,
Yes. Yes.
because I have registered in 3 gyms already. And I think when they saw me was when I registered. And then I would start walking the street here, and I tell myself I just need to walk 15 minutes in one direction, 15 minutes in the other direction. Sometimes I would have weights in my hands, sometimes I'd have weights on my ankles. And then, you start to see the results. And then you say, okay, I could take one little rest, one little rest. And it's the same thing with food. You and then you just say, well, okay, the results are looking good. The results are looking very good. And then you start to make excuses as to why you're slipping back
You're slipping back into
into.
the comfort.
And I remember 2023, I wanted to hit a certain, not weight, but fitness level, and in terms of firming up. 2023, I brought it into 2024 when I didn't hit the target, brought it to 2025.
Yes.
Still haven't done the firming up work.
Yeah.
So, it's going into 2026 with me. So the consistency is really for me, is defining what the thing is, and then saying you're going to do it. Like right now on social media, seeing these 7-minute workouts, the Tai Chi workouts. And I'm saying that looks so good. I did it one morning, the swinging of the hands and it was so invigorating. It was really, and you woke up a sweat in no time at all. And everything was feeling alive that morning. And I said, well, tomorrow morning for sure, I'll do the same thing again. And you get up and you just didn't do anything at all.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah,
you remembered it about. And the other thing for me, I tend to lock myself in sometimes into times. If I didn't do it when I got off my bed, it's a kind of, oh, you didn't do it, you didn't do it. Okay, but you didn't do it then. Okay, can't you find 7 minutes during the day to
yes,
do the same thing that's supposed to be done? And so it shouldn't be a question of I didn't do it at 7 o'clock in the morning. It should be, and this is where I have to train my mind that you have to get it done. And once you get it done in that day, of course, it would be good if you do it the same time every day, the same time every day. But I am now working on training my mind to not be so hard on me that I didn't do it at a certain time. And so I didn't do it at all,
yeah,
which is even worse.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
if you mark it down, it's going to be done today. And whenever it's done on that day.
yeah.
And this is where I put a little massaging of the definition of exercise
Yes,
and the
yes, yes,
setting of the day as the time to get it done, as opposed to a specific hour, which some things else might come up in between. You have to move a little earlier, you have to do something comes up, you have to attend to that immediately. Then you settle into this routine. Well, God, I didn't get it done, and you beat up on yourself. So for me, it's a question of disciplining myself not to be hard on myself
mm-hmm.
when I don't do things exactly like everyone says it must be done, or
Yeah,
when everyone says it must be done.
yeah. Because discipline also overrides whatever feeling you're experiencing as well. Because I watch even our trainer, listen to me. And well, we have two. We have Paul the trainer who does sessions with us when it's aerobics. And then we have Miss Annalisa who works with us Tuesdays and Thursdays. And when I tell you I look at them and they certainly they certainly have the discipline. Because even there is an instance where we went on a hike, and of course my nephew was there, and then looking at Annalisa, he was asking me, he said, Auntie, she related to Quaid Polly trainer. I said, no. And what he is identifying is not really, family bonds or anything, but what he identifying between the two is really the discipline and the consistency, yeah? Because it really, really shows. You could definitely see it. But a lot of times, whatever the activity is, whatever the task is, I think what really holds us back is the thought of the task, just as Katrin was explaining, also the understanding of it, what you understand it to be. Because again, if you had to do the task for $1 million, you would do it in a heartbeat. You would do it and you would find the discipline, you would create, if you have to construct that discipline out of mud outside, you would construct that discipline and you would certainly get it done. Yes, Anastasia, I'm seeing that you have your hand raised.
I find exercise should be something that you enjoy doing. So you find something that you enjoy. Some people think it's walking, some people might like to run, some people don't like aerobics like me. I do not like aerobics. So it has swimming, it has so much different it has dancing. Dancing is a form of exercise. It have a lot of different forms of exercise that enjoyable. And people just have to find one that they enjoy and do it, and then with that it wouldn't be so much of a task.
Yes, certainly, because even in Befitment, that's why we always encourage people to find your fit. Because what is required for you, of course, as we usually say, is not required for someone else. I have an aunt. She would work out by herself. She has her little setup. She doesn't have weight. She have different size water bottles. She would put on her shoes, her socks, her everything. So at least 2 to 3 times for the week, she has her tablet set up, whatever she's listening to, and she's doing her exercises with her broomstick, with everything right in her room. And as I said, she have no weight. And I don't have the discipline for that. No. I would I tend to work out or enjoy it more when it is a group setting. Not necessarily in a gym, but a group setting. That is where I would say, okay, yes. Yes, Anastasia?
But then I realized like you like the outdoors, like you like hiking and cycling and things like that.
Yes.
So that could be your form of exercise too, if you have problems with the gym and the aerobics.
Yeah,
Because like I see the videos with you all when you all go on hiking and think, and to me you look so alive, like you're in your element. So to me people have to find your element, and
yes.
you stay there and then you wouldn't have such a problem.
You really have to find your fit, and that is why, sometimes we used to say before, you get up in the morning and you ask yourself, self, what is required for me today? And in doing so, you would find what you enjoy. Because just as Anastasia said, some people don't like to hike, some people don't like the gym, they don't like even group settings. You could probably exercise by yourself. But even on the days where you know that you're really not feeling 100%, even on the days when you're not feeling 100%, you could know that, okay, I gave 100% of 10% today. Because you will not be at 100% every single day. But what is important is continuing is really the continuation of whatever you have started. And just continue. Even though you might not be, I am telling you, even for me, sometimes it is very difficult. There was a day, I think it was last week or week before, I really wasn't feeling to exercise. And I said, Annalisa, I need to know the exercises today. And she told me, and then I agreed to do it because anything that was too much on that day, I was like, I really, 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 really can do it. And it is really about a mindset shift. A mindset shift. What do you want for yourself? And usually it is difficult to be consistent if you really don't know what you want. Because I know we have all had interactions with children, the younger generation, and when they know what they want, how many times do they tell you about it and remind you about it? They tell you about 5,000,002 times every time they see you about whatever it is that they want. But if you do not know what you want, then what intention are you holding to? What are you working towards? So even as you sit right now, do you all know what you want? All right. So if we are unaware,
I have a question.
yes.
If you, is it that you have an idea about what you want, but if you are not putting in the effort towards it, then really it's not something you really want. You just would like to have it.
I think
Or
it's
if
even
in,
the same thing that Pat was talking about in terms of you think you want it and you're running it down, or do you really, really want it?
there are some things where yes, I said to myself, is it necessary to do all of this to get that? And then I would look around, and you always say comparison is the thief of joy. And I would say, but look, look, but so you don't have to have all of this. You don't have to be the most exercised person. You don't have to be the
No,
tightest
no, no,
person. You don't have to.
no, no.
But then
This
when
is about
I,
you. What do you want without even looking around? What do you want?
well, as I was going, then I remember the you are looking for the reflection of you.
Yes.
So, in saying, look at this one and look at that one, is wasting time.
Yes, it's
Because you are, if you are saying within yourself, this is what I want,
yes.
then what you want is not found in what somebody else is doing.
No. But sometimes what you want, you might get, you might see it and be inspired by it because
Mm.
for me, I really wanted, and it's only recently somebody reminded me of when I would say, I really want to start to go on hikes. I'm not waiting on anybody again. I just really want to start to go on hikes. And then after saying it, you see the opportunities start to present themselves. Another thing I said, and again, I was reminded of it. I started to say, I really need to start to exercise because I thought I was starting to look like a whale. Because you're feeling heavy, you're feeling sluggish, you have no energy. And again, when you know what you want, the opportunities will present themselves. When they present themselves, and that is why we tend to ask the question week after week, what have you been practicing? Are you practicing doing these same things when the opportunities present themselves, or are you practicing something new? What have you been practicing? You're asking for something, the opportunity presenting itself for you to have the experience, but you're saying, tomorrow or next week. What have you been practicing? So then, if you're not serious, then why would life continue to present the opportunities for you when you really don't want it? And no, I think Nicola, you there? I think that I saw that you had your hand raised. I'm not sure if you removed it.
Yes, I am here. What I wanted to say is sometimes, you want something, but again, it's mindset and having that discipline within your mind to believe and know that you could get it. Because sometimes you have that burning desire, but again, you're paying attention to the physical, and it's like that had to come by, or that is not for me, and you get caught up so much in the physical, thinking that, and then your belief system turn into, well, I'm not really going and get that. So where's the point in paying all this effort because it's not going on?
You're
Look
talking to us
actually
out
for
of
3 weeks, and according to your discipline as well, I do this for 3 weeks, I look nothing in working out, and sometime on that 3.5 marker is when you was supposed to get it at, but you turn around before you reach it. And I remember seeing a picture as well where two guys was digging. And one, as soon as he reached the diamonds, he find he was digging and he turned around. And the next one got it because he continued going. So sometimes again it's a belief system because you find I want it now. Oh yeah, the lack of patience as well. So it's why I putting in this effort? And I feel like in that, for me especially, that's why I need to get the discipline.
yeah. Yes, that is certainly true. But let me tell you all something, and this is tried, and I'm telling you true. When you know what you want, all you have to do is hold to the intention. I know I even told you all about the story of this laptop that I am currently using. When you know what you want, all you have to do is, all I knew is that I wanted a white laptop. The only store that had a white laptop was Dell. The white laptops were very expensive. I saw the price, I did not pay attention to it. And every day I said I would talk and I would call out all the specs. And I know it sounds crazy, like a crazy person in the house. Just every time I remember it, I would call out all the specs. I could be washing wares, I would call out all the specs. And the opportunity presented itself. And then that laptop started to give trouble. And as I told you again, the opportunity presented itself. And in returning it, it was damaged. And then I end up getting another new laptop in addition to the price of the laptop. All you have to do is know what you want. There is nothing else. But even as Patricia was saying, even though you might know what you want, and even as Nicola just explained, you talk yourself totally out of it because you're trying to determine and control what you think the outcome should be, and you're trying to prevent the disappointment and all of that. But let me tell you, I could have been disappointed as well when the laptop was damaged in terms of returning it. So now you're thinking, oh my gosh, I sent this laptop and it damaged. And if Dell doesn't, you know, if Dell decides, well, it damaged, so we cannot replace it before it even reached the Dell, I got the check. They didn't even get the new. No, before it reached the Dell, I got the new laptop. They hadn't received the old one as yet. The only person who was concerned about that was me. They were not even concerned. And a lot of times you consume yourself with things that the only person who cares about it is you. Where the universe done dispatch the thing that you're asking for. But if you talk yourself out of it, then what would have happened? Again, you talk yourself out of the opportunity and you're experiencing the same thing. You have the same wants, you have the same things that you're aspiring to have year after year, year after year. And I'll ask the question again. Do you all know what you want? Because if you don't know what you want, what are you working towards? And sometimes, when you hear working towards, you just think you have to labor and you have to dig a hole and you have to be out in the sun. But a lot of times, in knowing what you want, the things come to you, the things come and meet you. And the effort that you thought that you would have had to put in was so minimal. I tell you, you would ask yourself why I didn't do this 5 years ago. But again, do you know what you want?
I just want to add that's true.
Uh huh.
Because Diwali, the night before Diwali, I was like, I want a yoga mat. I want a next yoga mat. And then I was looking online and I was like, Bright Ideas had sale. So they had these plant pots, which was, it was like $100 and something, but to bring them down to $30 something, right? I was like, this real nice, but I want one. So then the night now, I got a phone call and somebody wanted some Christmas lights. So I happened to have to go Bright Ideas the Diwali, the morning of Diwali, it was open. And when I got there, I saw it had two more plant pots remaining. And the sale, because apparently the sale was running for however long. One was broken, one was good. So I get the plant pot fine. And when I look, I saw the yoga mat. So I asked the girl, I was like, how much for this yoga mat? She said $70. When I went to cash the yoga mat was $30. And I wanted a white. And I got it. And I asked for it the night before and I got it the next day. So I was very happy about that.
And that is how simple it is. Say what you want, no strings attached. Do not try to control the outcome.
And then with the $30, it had two more remaining, a green and a white. If it's when I walking back out, there she excuse how much for it, 70. And I said, no, 30. She falling down to go and pick up the next one for $30 too. Because she
Yes. And you see, that is how simple it is, guys. And that is why, we come and we ask, what have you been practicing? You come in here week after week and you're hearing the wisdom and even so much deeper on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But what have you been practicing with it? And remember, what is important is really building the momentum through small daily actions. So even if Patricia pat you there, even if you might still have doubt and you might still
Yes.
be overthinking, when you get up tomorrow, choose what you're going to work on this week. Make the choice. Even though you might not feel to do it today or you might give it 10%, that's fine. Tomorrow is a new day, a new opportunity. Tomorrow you might give it 50%. And it's just these small daily actions. It is not about, a lot of times we think it's this big fanfare, and it's really not about that. Get up in the morning, know what you want, and then allow the steps to come to you. Just as Nicola explained, just as I even explained with the laptop. Get up in the morning, know what you want. She got up in the morning, she knew I want a yoga mat. Did she know the yoga mat would be at the same place she going to get the lights? No. Did I know that I would be able to afford that laptop? No. All I knew was I want this thing and these are the specs. Nicola knew I want a yoga mat and I want it to be white. What do you want? And you might be thinking, nah, they're lucky. That is why things just happen like that. It does not work like that. It really, really doesn't work like that. It is the simple steps that you are practicing every day. The simple steps, the simple steps. Even with Catherine, you might get up 3 days and you're saying every day I'm waking up 5. You get up today, you didn't do it. You get up tomorrow, you didn't do it. You get up the day after, you didn't do it. But on day 4, you get up and you said, no, I am going to do it 15 minutes one way, 15 minutes another direction. And then it is all about consistency. And I am telling you, I do not feel to work out every single time. I don't. But you see, after you start and you recognize, okay, and then you start to feel a lot lighter. And then at the end of it, it makes you feel, it really, really does give you a lot more energy and stuff. But guys, find your fit. This is the opportunity. We are 7 weeks away from 2026. Are you going to be practicing the same thing in 2026? I have been asking this question since 2024. I hope that you will not be practicing the same things in 2026. Even if you have practiced them for 2025, let us begin practicing something new. Please, please. Befitment is here with you week after week to encourage you, to guide you, to practice something new. So we could definitely start 7 weeks before 2026. And even on your low energy days, what do you think some strategies are that you can practice? And Nicola, can you give us some in terms of, I know the psychology of things, and how hard it is when we are already in a pattern to really come out of that pattern, to be consistent, especially on days when the energy is really, really low.
Um, on the days when your energy low is about understanding and having patience with yourself and also being honest with yourself, because sometimes it could be a low energy where, okay, on that day you're really tired and you really need to rest, and that's fine. You know, you get up the next day and you get it done, and you be patient. Sometimes we tend to guilt trip ourselves and it's like, no, I have to do it because, but everything in your being telling you rest today, right? Or thing. And then it have times where energy low because of where you are mentally. When your energy is low based on where you are mentally, that is where it takes a lot of energy. It's already low, but it takes the last of your being and get up and get it done, right? And what I have learned as well is when you change your environment, it tends to change your focus. And once your environment and your focus change, you would realize. And it's like building, it's like riding a bicycle up a hill or building that momentum. So when you start, you wouldn't really want to, or you wouldn't even want to get up to start. But once you get into it, you would realize that the energy build, and you would start and you would go and you would go and you would go. And then you realize, oh, look, I finished and you're feeling much better, right? But usually when in that space, it takes a lot, but it's about you just giving yourself the little push and getting up, basically.
Yes. And do you all think that it is something that you could really work towards this week? Or are you still unsure? Are you all there?
It's good trying.
Listen.
Definitely, definitely.
All right. I really,
As you
really.
were talking, I felt, and as you said, 7 weeks. I said I felt like just going and walking the road right now. Do something.
Because, yes, Anastasia, I'm seeing that you have your hand raised as well.
sometimes you have to do the self-talk too, you know. Sometimes that's what is
Yeah.
give me the push. Talking to myself and saying, yeah, so, you know, so, and that is give me the push to get up and go.
And then sometimes the thing that you might be struggling with along the way is connected to the other thing that you really want. So you might be struggling to exercise, not realizing that if you get up and go out the road and exercise, you might meet the solution to something you have been asking about for a really, really long time. But if you don't do it again, and you see, a lot of times in our day to day lives, we don't understand how much things are really connected and how much we are really blocking ourselves from experiencing the things that we really truly want to experience by not being consistent. Sometimes with the consistency, you meet somebody you really wanted to meet, you get the answers to a question that you really had about a particular class you wanted to join, or you always wanted to start back dancing. And because you went out and walk, you meet somebody who is in a really good dance class. You never know because everything is connected. But if you don't take this step, then how can you get to the thing that you really want in the first place? And I know we don't think about it and we think that things taking long, but things taking long, or is it you taking long? And then a lot of times you want to look out and you want to blame things taking long. But is it not that you are taking long? And the longer you take, remember, even if the thing is right here, just as Nicola was explaining just now with the guys who are digging, the longer you take, the space and the time keeps widening. So we are now at the end of 2025. Yeah, I will not continue that sentence. So, guys, please, please, just make this step. Just make this step. Even if you make one step this week, you might make one step next week, you might make two steps the week after, zero steps the week after that. And then on week 4, just as Nicola said, when you least expect it is when you catch the momentum. And it's really about being consistent because if money was attached to any of the things you are struggling with, you would get it done in a heartbeat. If your health was attached to any of the things that you were struggling with, you would get it done in a heartbeat. So why not do it before having to give the doctor your money? To still have to get it done, now you have to pay twice. You have to pay the doctor, and then you have to pay to buy medicine, pills, do other tests. You can just make this step and get it done. And guys, I tell you, when you make that step, that one step connected to so many other things. But if you don't make this step, you will never know. So make this step. And we would certainly be looking forward to find out how this week went in terms of the consistency and making the step, whatever the step is. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just make the step. We all know the steps that we have to make and the steps that we are procrastinating about. So just make the step. All right. So do we have any more questions? No? Guys, remember to these small, small steps turn into habits, eh? But if you don't take the time to create the habits, then what do you have? And again, remember, what do you want? When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is ask the question, self, what is required for me today? Ask the question before you proceed with anything else. Self, what is required for me today? and then proceed. Do not do anything else before proceeding. Ask the question. Do not just go back to whatever the run of the mill things is. Do not just go back to, the hamster on the wheel. Well, this is the pattern. This is what I am accustomed to. Stop first, pause, and ask the question, and then see what comes and see what other exciting things you meet along the way. You never know. If you don't stop to pause, ask, look around, and recognize, hey, these signs were here all along. You know? So let me let you all know what is the schedule for this week at the Balance Center. So for this week, starting tomorrow, of course, at 10, we have the Beast Squad Youth Program. Then from 6 p.m., we have the discussion where we would be looking at turning urgency into focused action, understanding reactive versus intentional urgency. So, a lot of times we do the knee jerk effect and we always reactive instead of being intentional. So that is what we would be looking at. And then from 7, we have the Befit Fuel and Flex Full Body Workout session. On Wednesday from 10, we have our B Squad Youth program again. And then from 6 p.m., we would be discussing mastering the now mindset, where we would be looking at breaking the habit of delay by reframing momentum. And you all see that is a level 3 discussion. So ensure that when you log on, you are ready and focused. Then on Thursday, we have the B Squad Youth Program again from 10 at various schools across Trinidad. And then from 6 p.m., we would be looking at leading yourself and others, where we would be discussing building confidence under pressure. Again, that is a level 3 discussion. And then from 7 p.m., we have the Befit Fuel and Flex Full Body Workout session. On Friday, we have our counseling and consultations from 10. And from 3 p.m., we have Free to Be, where we celebrate, relax, restore, and unwind, of course, by appointment only. Sorry. And then on Saturday, the 8th of November, we have our B Squad Super Saturdays. And from 3 p.m., we will be closed. And coming up on the 15th of November, we have our Hike to Ture water steps. Anastasia, will you be there?
No, I don't like hiking.
All right. All right. Understood. So for adults, the cost is $100. Children, 60. The difficulty of this one, of course, is a level 4. Meeting time 7 a.m. Transportation 120. So if you are interested, you can WhatsApp the word hike to 3361809 to register. And of course, you can download the B by Befitment app for more information. So, remember, Befitment is not only about the mind, Befitment is also about activities, about fitness. Consider it like a one stop shop when it comes to wellness and well being. For this week's Genius Goal, we will not have a new question this week, as we are giving you all time to answer the question from last week, as it was sent out on social media a bit late because we were very busy, but we would certainly still have some interactive things this week on social media to replace it. So please look out for it, guys. And remember, for this week, practice something new. Practice something new. It could be eating less carbs. It could be anything. You know what you need to practice. Practice something new. Practice something new. If you really want to see and experience the best version of yourself, practice something new. And you would see how everything would start. Listen, when you practice something new, things naturally find order. And the things that you're worrying about, you would recognize that it wasn't even necessary, it wasn't required, because everything would naturally find order and everything would naturally find its place. So, guys, think about that for this week. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. See you all tomorrow. And of course, again, for the rest of the week, and again on Monday to come back with information on what you practice this week because we will certainly be discussing it. So, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful night and see you all tomorrow. Good night.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Bye,
Thank you.
Lisha. Good night. Bye, Naveen.
Thank you.
Bye.